Okay, we'll continue here with the California contingent. Again, the order that will go is we will ask Coach to make an opening statement. We will then ask questions of the student athletes and excuse them when those questions are finished, and then we'll take questions for Coach. Again, raise your hand and wait for the microphone. And for those of you on Zoom, if you have questions, please raise your hand and we'll try to get to you also. So with that, we have Coach Sharman Smith with us, and we have Lulu Twydell, and we have Michelle Onya, I'm sorry. Okay, Coach.
Yeah, I know we'll get into the game, but really, what I told the team was, aside from this, I'm just really proud of this group and what we did this year. Michelle and I, her first season, we won one game, right?
Yeah.
We won one game. Yeah. And now to be here sitting on 25 wins and a record number of home wins and everything that we accomplished, I'm just really proud, and I want them to remember that. It doesn't feel great right now. We're obviously really disappointed in our performance today. But I think when the 7 seniors or 7 graduates from this team think about this year down the road, they'll remember how they put their name on Cal women's basketball and got us back to a really special place.
All right, questions for the student athletes? Down here.
Thomas Dunn, right for California. Michelle, you and Sharman have a storied history together. You kind of grew up together, both as how Sharman became a head coach and you as a player. Kind of want you to contextualize how you guys have grown together over the course of these years and kind of what Coach Smith means to you.
Yeah. Yeah, we grew a lot together, obviously. 116 and sophomore year, getting a little better and a little better to be here now. We trust each other, obviously. I'm here, she's here still, obviously. We say we can do this together, and we turn the program around, you say, back to a tournament team. We could have done better, obviously, this game, but overall, I think we deserved what we got, and we did good together, and we came around from our first year together. So I think overall, we stuck together. We stuck together, and yeah.
Over here with Michelle.
Michelle Smith from The Next. Lulu, how much did that first quarter, and can you talk about what happened in that first quarter in terms of what they were doing, what you guys were doing, and how much do you think that set you guys back and gave you too big of a hole to dig out of?
Yeah, I think our team, we're just very used to coming out fast, being able to score the ball really well. I think it was more of an us thing than them. I think there was nerves, obviously. It's most of us first time in the tournament. So, yeah, I just think us not being able to score definitely set us back. But I'm just proud of this team that we don't fold easy. I'm proud that we were able to keep fighting to the end.
We'll go over here and then.
Emmanuel Macedo with the Daily Californian. This is for the both of you, Michelle and Lulu. Obviously, it might be hard to think about right now, but how special is it for the two of you to have been a part of such a special season for Cal women's basketball?
For me, I think most of my emotions after is really about not getting the opportunity to play with this team again. I'm really grateful for my seniors, Yolanda, Martha, Michelle. They were there for my freshman year. They have helped me grow to the player I am today. And they really just are really good role models to me of what leaders look like. So, yeah, I'm just really grateful to be a part of this program and a part of this team and to be able to accomplish what we did this year.
Yeah, and for me, honestly, it's been a good year, honestly. Having Lulu, having the transfers coming in right, having a whole new team really special, obviously. 16-1 from home and beating Stanford twice, going to ACC, new conference, playing really well in the ACC, right? Going to new schools, going to East Coast, all the adversity we have at Cal, we did really well. Being at number one public school in the nation, we did really well for what we do, honestly. I don't think there's any other team in the NCAA that's really good at academics and get a sports that's still there, like a top school, right? So I'm happy for my team, like focusing on school and focusing on basketball and being able to do all that together, because it's really hard to do that. And like we're all, like, really hard. It's really hard to do that, and I'm happy we stay together. Did really well this year. Beat Stanford, ACC, conference, and doing really well. But yeah, good to hear.
Down here in the front.
Hi, Marissa and Jemmy, San Francisco Chronicle. Lulu, you mentioned that early on, you guys just not scoring. You thought it had more to do with you guys and what Mississippi State was doing. As the game was going on, like, what were the emotions when those shots weren't falling for you guys? Because all season long, like, you had that three-pointer. You guys, your offense was so dominant all year. So how difficult was it, just like emotionally, for that not to be working this game?
I mean, yeah, like you said, with this year, we've been doing it all year. Obviously, today wasn't our day, but I think we just really try to stay together as a group. And like one of our coaches mentioned, like if your stuff isn't falling or if you're in your head about something, like give something to the next person next to you. So I think like we just really want to stay together, be able to support one another on the court, and yeah, just be able to fight to the end of the game.
Down front.
Lulu, you mentioned what the senior class has done for you, and now the mantle turns towards you as one of the voices for this program in the future. I was wondering, what are those next steps in terms of your leadership that you're going to take as one of the premier players in the program?
I mean, we just finished the season, well, just now, but I mean, like I said, I'm just very grateful to be a part of this program, be able to build this program with Charmin for the past couple years. So I think just being able to stay focused, like take my break, and then, yeah, really just get to work, get in the gym, get better as a basketball player, and then when we have a new team, just be able to pour in as a leader and share my experiences with them to make sure that we're ready for whatever is to come.
Any other questions for student athletes? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Do it excites.
Can I take my card?
Yes, you can.
Thanks.
Oh, it's nice.
Yep.
Photos off. Smile, Charmin. Smile. Your car, smart one. Hey. Oh, you left before I left. Broski. Come on now. Oh shit.
Let's see.
That was you or me?
Me.
That's me. That's my phone.
This is yours.
Oh.
Time to leave.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I have to stay.
Oh, enjoy the night.
Thanks.
Hey guys, cheers.
All right.
We're gonna miss her.
We'll take questions for Coach. Down front here.
Charmin, Jerry McDonald from the Mercury News. Obviously, the three-point shooting and the turnovers kind of jump off the stat sheet. How much was that you just having an off night, and how much did they take you out of your game?
I think the three-point shooting, we had some looks that I expected to go down. I thought we ran some really good actions to get Lou and Yo open for shots, and they missed some that they usually make. The turnovers, I mean, we knew that they would pressure. I mean, you talked about the first quarter, like, we started 0 for 6 on layups, 0 for 6 on layups, and I don't think that had anything to do with Mississippi State. And then when we missed those layups, then we tried to dump it to Michelle, and we just threw it out of bounds a couple times. So I think Lou was right in that, there seemed to be some jitters and some kind of nerves out there that, obviously didn't play into our favor. Credit to Mississippi State. I mean, I think, weren't they in the same situation as us last year, like a bubble team, and did not make it? And they looked poised. They smoked some early too, but like they were able to survive kind of just that nerve type thing and be a little bit better than us. I looked at the stat sheet. At some point, they were shooting 25% from the field, and it's like 26-19. That's not any reason to freak out the way that we were playing, but we couldn't get to where we could be ourselves. It was just too many people that couldn't get into a groove, and that meant that we couldn't survive the turnovers and the missed shots, right? Because Mississippi State, I think they gave us chances. They only shot 34% from the field. But we weren't the best version of ourselves, and we needed to be in order to beat a really good SEC team.
Charmin, I know you're just coming up with this loss right now, so it's hard to think ahead too much. But what did this year mean for this program? You're losing 7 graduates, like you said, but do you have the confidence that you can build? Because it took a while to get to this point, but how much did a year like this do to make that a shorter turnaround time going forward?
I think we put Cal women's basketball back on the map, and I can tell the interest we have from recruits and things like that, even who I think we can go after is better than it was, last year. We lost 7 last year too, so we've done this before. We will be aggressive in the portal. And the good thing is, we can offer opportunity, and most people transferring want an opportunity to play. And we can also say now, hey, we've done it before. You come here, we know how to win, we know how to get to the NCAA tournament, and you too can put your face on this program and help us to win basketball games in the ACC. So I'm really excited about the future. I hope we can use this kind of, to springboard us into further success. And if we can get back here next year, it won't be our first rodeo. And, that's what you want, is just constant improvement. And being in the NCAA tournament as an 8 seed is a drastic improvement for our program.
Coach Don Shannon with Right for California. Coach Purcell talked about active hands quite a bit and felt like their length was maybe slightly unexpected. Can you talk about that just a pure athletic matchup in that game today?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was unexpected. We expected it. It's not something that we handle very well. Their pressure, sometimes we're trying to run actions, and instead of catching it at the top of the key, catching it at the top of the jump ball circle, right? That's not where we want to initiate our offense. So, yes, I think their athleticism and their pressure forced us outside of our comfort zone, and we didn't respond fast enough. Later in the second half, we were able to get Michelle in the mix a little bit. That loosens things up for us. But it was just, too little, too late. And, yeah, definitely credit to Mississippi State. Even on the offensive end, their guards were aggressive, getting downhill, getting to the free throw line a ton. So we knew it was going to be a tough matchup. 8-9 is typically a coin toss. And they got the better of us today for sure.
Emmanuel Macedo with the Daily California. Coach, it seemed like a much more physical game today than maybe most this season. Is that something that you expected, or is that something that kind of, took you by surprise as the game kind of evolved?
I don't know. I didn't feel like we got bullied or anything. I thought they were active. They were, as you mentioned, active hands and aggressive. But, we've seen that in the ACC. We've seen that with North Carolina. We've seen that with Duke. We've seen that with Notre Dame. So I thought it was good basketball, right? They're a good team, and we didn't have our best day.
Back to Michelle.
Charmin, along the line of talking about what you talked with when Marissa's question about building on this momentum, what's the reality of how quickly that happens? What happens next?
Is today Saturday? Yeah, the portal opens on Monday, and it's going to be crazy. There's no break, and we have to, replace 7 people that are graduating, essentially. Now we have a great freshman class coming in. We've got a McDonald's All-American coming in at the point guard position. Taylor Barnes from Texas. We're really excited about our group, but we will be in the portal, and we'll be aggressive in the portal. And I know that we'll find the pieces that we need to be back here and hopefully get even further, similar to how we did last offseason.
Down front. We'll do 2 more here and then there.
Thomas Stone, Right for California. Charmin, this will end up being a 2-parter, but the first one is the situation right here with Michelle at the end, I think, is emblematic of the battle you guys have been in together over these years. There's always teaching moments when it comes from coach to player. I was wondering, what has Michelle taught you on and off the court over the course of the years?
She would want me to tell you that she's taught me to do what excites. That's her little slogan that drives me absolutely crazy. At one point, after I was frustrated with her at a game, and I was like, how about don't do what excites, do what freaking wins? And it wasn't actually freaking, but, I love Michelle. I'm so proud of, who she's developed into. I don't know. I think I've learned patience, and I don't know, just to appreciate what I have in Michelle is appreciating the loyalty, because it's not something that you see very often in our sport for someone to stay for 5 years. And she could have left this program. I know people were in her DMs offering her all kinds of money and doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. And she stuck with me. And that means a lot because we weren't in the tournament. You know, we didn't have like 25 wins and things like that. So I guess I'm more just grateful and really appreciate her, and that's my family. Like, I'll do anything for her. She will always have my support in whatever it is that she looks to do next. Hopefully we can get her into WNBA training camp. I think she's deserving. But if not that, I know that she will be making medical devices or doing something as an engineer and be spectacular, and I'll be supporting her every step of the way.
And the second part is, I know it's very immediate, but what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the lasting memory of this team?
NCAA tournament, right? Something that hadn't been done in 6 years, and something that's really hard to do. And I'm really glad that we did it now. Cal's in the tournament before. I don't know, they're going to add teams and 96 teams, all this stuff that they're talking about, right? Like, we made the field of 68. I'm extremely proud of that. We fought through ACC travel. We swept Stanford for the first time since '86. Like, there's so many things, but if there's one that's on my mind is when you come in June and you bring players, you know, to meet, and you have that first huddle and you say, you guys, we're going dancing in March. That's the goal now. Like, write it down. We're going to do that. And then you actually do it. Like, of course, that's the thing that I'm going to remember.
Do our last question up front here.
Charmin, I know turnovers were a thing kind of all year, and for a lot of the season, you guys kind of got away with it. You were able to outshoot those turnovers, but your last 2 games of the year, Notre Dame and now here, they were really costly. Why do you think that kind of stayed a consistent issue all year, and what do you learn about that going into next year and trying to not have that be as much of a concern?
Yeah, I mean, I think at times we force the issue and we try to do too much. And it's something that I've chosen to live with, you know. I trust our players. I like for them to be confident, so I don't want to be a coach that, you know, is constantly yanking people in or out and that type of thing. But I don't think it'll be an issue for us. It's something that we have to fix, right? And it's hard in the middle of the season. You have a flow. You've got your people you got to ride with. But just as we did last year and saying, look, we need to be better defensively, and you know, we got Jada in here and got people to really commit to being better defenders. Michelle staying out of foul trouble, and that was a growth of our team. This will definitely be an area of growth next year where I hope we won't be talking about the turnovers as much as we did this year.
Great. Thank you, Coach, for coming in.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.